Hi, my name is Sheila Willis of Impact Tourism, the developer of the History Check mobile app. Welcome to History Bytes, your dose of Alberta Historical Trivia. Brought to you in partnership with Belt Drive Betty Media and the Canadian Motorcycle Tourism Association. You can register to answer the questions for a shot to win prizes, or just take the quiz to satisfy your own brain power. Either way, we're excited to see how much of Alberta's history you really know. And our last question was, the only remaining radar dome built during the Cold War on the Pine Tree and Midline is located on which border? Is it A, Alberta in the US, B, Alberta and the Northwest Territories, or C, Alberta and Saskatchewan? And the answer is C, Alberta and Saskatchewan. Radar towers built in the 1950s and 60s once scanned the skies for Soviet aerial attacks. Canada's civil defense program was to demystify atomic bombing without discussing the human cost. Canada was one of the major allies of the United States and was an important power in the Cold War. It was also one of the founding members of NATO, which stands for the North Atlantic Treaty Organization. It was established as a collective defense, the idea being there is strength in numbers. Civil defense strengthened the idea that nuclear weapons could provide for national security. Preparation and public participation was promoted through civil defense organizations. By appearing to provide citizens with the means to protect themselves during an attack and the resources to meet their needs in the aftermath of nuclear war, support for nuclear deterrence was increased. On the front lines of the Cold War system, radar towers were placed to be lookouts for enemy missiles or bombers. One of these dome towers is Alsask, and it lies on the Alberta and Saskatchewan border east of Calgary. The steel structure stands 4 stories high and is topped by a 20-meter tall, white fiberglass dome designed to protect equipment from the elements. When Alsask began operations in 1963, there were 2 similar towers on the Pine Tree line. The radar towers stretched in lines from coast to coast, where they were bulwarks against surprise attacks from the USSR. The Pine Tree Line, Dew Line, and Mid-Canada Line were part of these. While Alsask is a step over the border in Saskatchewan, its existence as the only remaining dome on the Pine Tree and Midline gives us recognition of other stations that were once in Alberta. They were at Cold Lake, Pinhold, and Saskatoon Mountain near Beaver Lodge. I personally know the Beaver Lodge radar dome and that it was used by the American Air Force, as my dad was stationed there in 1962, of one of those who worked in the station. The Alsask station and dome is now owned by the Canadian Civil Defense Museum and Archives. Their plans are to bring the dome back to life as a museum and/or educational structure, as a memory to a time when many of us lived in fear of imminent attack from outside sources. You can find more information about the group, the progress of the dome, and of course, the history of the Cold War in Canada on their website and Facebook pages. And our next question is, in 2001, a giant pair of Levi Strauss jeans were visible in Edmonton. How many pounds did they weigh? Is it A, 216 pounds, B, 487 pounds, or C, 543 pounds? Come back for the answer and the story that goes along with it. Then we'll load you up with the next question. Enjoy!